Welcome to A&B Horror Movies. I'm Aaron, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be joined today by Mike E. Nelson. Mike, welcome.
Hey, how's it going, man? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm doing great. Yes, I can't wait to chat with you about all of your films, but specifically your brand new film that is in theaters now, and that is Silent Night, Deadly Night.
'Twas the night before Christmas, the house locked up tight. Yet a shadow approached in the dead of the night. With a glimmering axe, so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be Saint Nick.
Kind of been drifting my whole life. I'm ready for something real.
Looking for something? Are you okay? I'm gonna figure out what's going on in there.
You, had no idea. What? Naughty.
How many people have you killed?
A lot.
Do you have to dress like Santa?
It helps me slip from Billy into something else. Punish.
Wait. Keep it on.
Are you ready for this? Naughty. Have you been a good boy?
Congratulations on your new film. I can't wait to talk with you about it. So, you wrote and directed this reimagining of the iconic 80s Christmas slasher that we all know and love. Um, wow, that's amazing. My first question for you is, how did you get involved with the project, and how do you approach such an iconic film as Silent Night, Deadly Night and make it modern and new while still honoring the film that we love?
So, I mean, we'll take it back to where it all began, which was I had just done VHS 85 with Brad Miska, and he was over at Cineverse, with the whole Bloody Disgusting
Mhm.
and everything,
I have
and
a copy of it right here. Yes.
there it
I love
is.
your segments in this. If we have
Oh,
time, I
thanks,
want to
man.
ask you about that too, but let's Silent Night, Deadly Night, focus.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah, so Brad reached out. I had a really good time with him on that in that
Mhm.
journey on VHS, and so he's like, "Hey, like, how open are you to like working with, you know, different IPs, and what are your thoughts on Silent Night, Deadly Night?" And I was like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, we have it here, and we have the rights to it, and we're working with the original producers, and I figure we had a good time on VHS. Just wanted to see if you had a take." And I said, "Okay." I was like, "Yeah,
Mhm.
give me." I can't remember if it was like a week or two or something. Let me think about it and see if I can, come up with something that could be a lot of fun. And I said,
Yeah.
it's probably not going to be, it's probably not going to be like the original. It's probably going to be my own, my own take, and it's going to be weird. But he's like, "That's fine. Right now, we're just looking for options."
Mm.
And so it was just, yeah, it was whipping something together, and I have to take a shot at these things. When they come up, it's just like, well, it's might as well go for it and see what
Mhm.
happens. Worst thing they can say is, yeah, it's not for us. Okay. What is fun about doing a take on some of this IP though is what I love. One of the reasons why I oftentimes won't say no is because a lot of times the ideas that I give some of these movies
Mhm.
could sort of also be their own thing. So if it's something that like I really fall in love with, I don't actually have to just like say, shit. I pitched this really cool idea for Silent Night, and now like that's it. I can't do anything else with it. But like if I pitch something that's my own, that's very unique, and it feels very original, and maybe I just have to like knock
Mhm.
out a few like homages to the movie that I have in there. It's like I can, go after it and make it my own if I really, really like it. So I go into these
Yeah.
IPs, and I usually try to think of them as like, yes, it's an IP, and yes, it's like a familiar thing that, that people know about. But
Mhm.
my version of the movie, uh, I want it to feel like an original. I want it to feel like an original film. And so that's important to me as a filmmaker. So I got to go in like
Hmm.
that. And so I pitched the movie, um, and yeah, I pitched to Scott and Dennis from the original, and Brendan Hill and Brad, and they were very, very receptive. They were like, "That's interesting. That's very unique and different, but it still like has the flavors of like
The
the
original,
original
right?
movie." Yeah,
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 yeah.
it had that kind. It has a weird tonal vibe, and it has some of this like you can laugh at it a little bit, but also you're kind of like disturbed by it. And there's some great violence, and the idea behind it was sort of
Mm.
it was like a twist or a surprise that they weren't expecting. And that I think was what the thing that kind of hooked them was they were like they weren't expecting that, and that's what excited them. Waited,
Mm.
I can't remember if it was a week or two, and I heard back, and they were like, "Yeah, we really like it. We'd love you to write up an outline or whatever, and then you can pitch us the script." And so I went
Yeah,
into it, dove in, they signed off on that, and I started writing. And it was
that's
probably this
amazing.
one of the fastest scripts I ever wrote because it was like I just like it was so weird. I just knew it. It wasn't like I was I was like trying. I was like I just knew the idea and I knew the characters. And the reason I knew the characters is because I mean,
Mm.
honestly, it's Pam and Billy are just weird facets of myself.
Oh
They're
my
just
gosh.
like,
I love
yeah,
that. Yeah.
like not necessarily like complete mirrors or anything like that, but just things that they represent are very much like a part of who I am, and
Mm.
in certain ways. And so that to me was I just knew that. I knew their characters like right off the bat, and so I dove in and
Yeah.
I just
The
and
stars aligned, right? It was
yeah, it
meant
just
to
did.
be.
And it was such a
Yeah.
fun script. It was also probably one of the more fun scripts I've ever written because I didn't feel like I had a ton of rules. It
Mm.
was just kind of like I just went in, I did it, wrote some really crazy set pieces in there, had a fun,
Mm.
character back and forth. Hadn't really written. I mean, I wrote a lot. It was writing a love story, like a very violent love story, and so I was like, this is going to be a lot of fun, I think. And I think so thus far, with some of the secret screenings that we've had, and the people that have seen it, it's so far it's been very positive. So yeah, it was a ride for sure.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, that's amazing. Can you speak a little bit more to your, I guess, creative process when it comes to writing? So, do you find it more challenging to take on these I can iconic films like you've done Jason now with Sweet Revenge? You're part of the VHS franchise, The Wrong Turn, your Wrong Turn film from that franchise as well, and now Billy. Do you approach it differently when it comes to writing the screenplay? How does that come about?
I mean, approaching taking on an IP as opposed to something like straight
Yeah,
up
like
original.
a standalone screenplay. Yeah.
I mean, I guess to a certain extent there are. It's weird because like with Silent Night,
Mhm.
other than I think it was just, for me, it was picking and choosing things that I wanted to pay homage to or pay or nod
Mhm.
to or make sure that like or the things that like really struck me about the original film that I wanted to sort of make my own variation of. So yes,
Yes.
there when you're messing with an IP and you want to bring some of that original or that stuff from the original in, yeah,
Mhm.
you mine it for the stuff that like really works for you or that, I try not to fall into fan service too much, but there are obviously in some of these movies things that you do want to nod to because look,
Yes.
I love the fans and like the fans
Oh, of
are
course.
incredible
Yeah.
people. And as a horror fan myself, I love watching stuff in which in when the filmmaker is like I know that you want to see this, and I get excited.
Yes.
So there has
Yes.
to be some nods, and I do like doing that, but I don't like to fall into the I have to make something that's a beat for beat or something that's so close to what the original was
Mm.
to appease people because I'm not doing myself I'm doing myself a disservice, and I honestly feel like I'm doing fans a disservice. So
Yeah.
unless you're a fan who just feels like the film should never be remade, I feel like I'm trying to give you something that's surprising and original while kind of piggybacking off of what was fun and interesting about the original film, the original story.
Of course. Of
I'd say
course. And
that's Yeah,
Hmm.
it's the same thing that goes with the other ones. I mean, with Jason and Sweet Revenge, I mean, honestly, with that one, there were maybe a handful of more rules that we had to follow, but even with that, it was more just like make sure Jason does gnarly kills and be creative
Yeah.
with that, and and I mean, even with my take on it and where I go with the twist. They were very open to that. There wasn't, oh, well,
It's
you
so
can't do
good.
that because that doesn't happen in Jason movies. They're very open to
Yeah.
it because anything can happen in a Jason movie. Like literally
Hmm.
anything. He's gone to space. There's been telekinesis. He's gone to hell and back. Freddy has grabbed his mask. Like there's
Right.
there
Oh
is
my God.
there's yeah, there is nothing that you can't, and that's what's great about
Sky's the
the
limit.
Friday the
Yeah.
13th series is not a lot of questions have been answered. They want to
Hmm.
keep it that way, which I think is smart because it allows filmmakers and storytellers to dive into that universe and just go wild. And that to me is exciting. So when you're
Yes.
dealing with IP,
Agreed.
yes, I am going to go in and I'm going to mess around with things and I'm going to kind of pick and choose things that I want to bring in. But ultimately, as I
Hmm.
said again, I do want to make sure that I bring something to the table that's original.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I love about your films, especially the IP films, because you bring something new, but you also honor the original. But it's not just a rehash of the original
Mhm.
story. And I think that's what you do so well. I do want to talk about the casting with Silent Night, Deadly Night. So we have Rowan Campbell, who we all know from Halloween Ends, and also Ruby Modine, who we know from Happy Death Day, the Happy Death Day films. What was it like with the casting process? And also, what was it like working with these two very talented actors?
Well, they were very good. I
Yes.
mean, they have incredible chemistry in the
Mhm.
film, which I think, is great. Like that's all. I mean, honestly, a director, 90% of my job is making sure I cast the movie right and making sure that, I get people
Mhm.
that have the chemistry, especially in the story that we're telling. And they did just that. They were,
Yeah.
they were always kind of, they were always being silly on set. They were always telling jokes together. We were this funny trifecta. I would even say, even with my DP, like we were just these four people that were. I always felt like we were just kind of goofing around and making this movie and just seeing where it goes. But they were
Awesome.
always just like when it was came time to being on screen, just had this kind of electricity, which was a lot of fun. Um, Ruby was somebody that, I had worked with her very briefly just in the song at the end of Wrong Turn. She did This Land Is Your Land, the cover.
Oh, I had no
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah, so
That's
and the re
amazing.
yeah, so okay, so the little background inside scoop was
Yeah.
I was shooting a scene with Matthew Modine for Wrong Turn, and it was this driving scene with him, and I was in a car with our camera op, and I
Mhm.
was in the back seat, and he started playing music, and it was female vocals, very smoky voice. It just had this really really neat sound. I was like, who is this? And he
Yeah.
looks back to me, he goes, it's my daughter. And I was like, oh. I was like, it's very good. He goes, oh, thanks, I'll tell her. And then, I
Wow.
looked up her music and I started
That's
listening
so
to it,
cool.
and yeah, whatever, and it
Mhm.
was fine. I didn't think much of it at the time other than cool, like your daughter sings and it sounds great. And then it was scripted that This Land Is Your Land, I think, was going to play at the end of the movie.
Mhm.
And my editor, Tom Elkins, put the song in, and it was the Woody Guthrie version. And
Yep.
it was just, it worked. It was fine. And, we were working with their estate and everything like that, like trying to clear rights. And it seemed to be, everything seemed to be fine. But I think there was something about cost, there was like cost issues, and
Mm.
it was a process that just continued to be harder and harder every single day we dealt with it.
Mm.
And in the end, it just ended up spiraling. And we were looking for another song, and I think my suggestion was, well, we should just cover it. Like maybe we should just have somebody cover it. And I was like, oh, I think there's
Yeah.
this really interesting idea. And I told him about Ruby.
Mhm.
And sure enough, we, reached out to Matthew. I was like, hey, can you connect me with Ruby? And I'd love to see if she would do a cover of this song because I think her voice would be perfect for the tone that we're landing
Yeah.
at the end of
Oh,
this
it's so
movie.
good now that you mention it. Yeah.
And
Yes.
sure enough, like she was interested. We did it. and it was the rest is history. And so from then on, like even just in that moment, we had a really great like small moment of working together. And
Mhm.
then I, of course, had seen Happy Death Day and um,
Yes.
Shameless and
The cupcake. Yeah, Shameless, of course, too.
yes,
Yes.
yes, and yeah, it was. I was like, I think she's Pamela. Like it was weird because when I was writing the script, I was like, I kept seeing her face. I was like, like she could be really
Mhm.
good. And then she was the only person I sent the script to for Pamela.
Oh, okay.
So Ruby, like
Amazing.
literally, she
Yeah.
was the only one who read it for Pam, and I sent it to her. I asked her, I was like, "Hey, do you want to read the script?" She goes, "Oh my God, yeah, absolutely! Like, I love to read it." And like an hour later, she called me back, and she was like, "I want to do this. Like,
Yeah.
yes. The answer is yes. Like, whatever we need to do to get things going." And I told the producers, they were happy, and we got things going, and that was that. Um,
Mm.
so that was really exciting. That was a cool day. And then Rowan was a connection through one of our EPs, Steven Schneider, who
Yes.
was, I was we were trying to find the cast, and he was very helpful in trying to land like somebody that would be right for the role. And we looked at a couple people,
Hmm.
and then when he mentioned Rowan, he goes, "Oh yeah, I know Rowan. I just did a movie with him." And I was like, God, he was good in Halloween Ends. I was like, do you think he'd
Yes,
read
wasn't
this?
he? He's
Yeah, he's so
fantastic. And the
good.
monkey
And
too, he was great in that.
I know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I was like, do you think he'd read this? He goes, yes, he'll of course he'll read it. I'll give him the script. And sure enough, he read the script and he loved it. And we were on a call, I feel like within the next couple days, and we
Mhm.
talked. And I think we got off the call and he thought about it for, it wasn't even that long. It was just like, it just happened. It was just like, boom, yep,
Yeah.
that's
And
it.
that
And then
and
we,
the
we
rest
cast
is
it and
history.
that was
Oh,
it. And then
that's
the rest,
fantastic.
yeah, the
Yeah.
rest were some a handful of really talented Canadian actors,
Mhm.
and um, yeah, it was great.
It all came together. Uh,
Yes.
let's see, no spoilers here, but can you say, if you're okay with this, can you say a little bit about your take on Billy in your film? So we know Billy from the first Silent Night, Deadly Night. What sort of
Yes.
spin is there? What can we expect? What can fans expect from Billy in your Silent Night, Deadly Night?
Um, he's honestly he's just a regular dude, man. He's just a regular
Yeah.
dude dealing with some demons.
Mm.
And those demons uh let's just say come out full force when they tell him to do things. Other than
Yeah.
that, he's
I can
he's a
imagine.
pretty yeah he's a pretty sweet, nice, and very um, cordial kind of guy, like in his everyday life. And I think that's, I mean, again, like as I mentioned, it's a love story, and
Mhm.
he's looking he's looking for a change in his life is ultimately what it comes down to. Like he's been he's been doing some very bad things. And I think
Yes.
and he's kind of ready to
Wants to,
throw in the towel. And
yeah,
when he
turn a
sees
corner, right?
Pam, yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
exactly. And so he's
Hmm.
he, he's like any one of us that's looking for a change of pace and
Right.
is ready to move on to the next chapter.
Hmm.
And Pam fits the bill. And little does he know that Pam has her own has her own demons as well. And we realize how perfect this connection
A match made
becomes.
in heaven. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or hell, I don't know,
Or
one of the
hell
two.
in between.
Yeah, but I mean that's
Awesome.
who he is, just a
Mhm.
guy that I feel like you might pass him on the street and not think twice about him. But what he does, and when you get to know
Yeah.
him over the course of the movie, I do feel like the audience, uh, well, based on our screenings, they do fall in love with him, and people that haven't seen it yet, I think they will.
That's amazing. I love that answer. And let's see. So I have to ask about the effects, the kills, practical effects, and how you paid tribute to some of the original kills, right? Linnea Quigley, the
Mhm.
antlers.
Mhm.
And again, no spoilers, but what can horror fans expect from the kills in your film?
Um, we have a we have a pretty high body count. Let's just put it that way. So the body
Yes.
count in this one is a bit higher. Um, we're playing with not only some throwbacks to some original kills, but there's a lot of axe murder. I mean, that's Billy's weapon of choice.
Yeah. Hmm.
And yeah, he's got some tricks up his sleeve. I think, the movie, reveals him as a pretty swift and to the point killer uh, when we get to first know him. But then you realize that he might have a little bit more a little bit more style than we were expecting.
Excellent.
Which
Yes.
we had a lot of fun with, and I will say that
Yeah.
Rowan did a handful of his own stunts. Like he trained with an axe, like legitimately trained with an axe with
Oh.
our stunt team, and we were ready to double him. And there was very little of that. There was only a few moments that we had to do it, just in terms of, I think, in terms of time and just safety. But I would say 90 to 95% of Billy doing his thing is Rowan.
Is
He's there.
real,
He's doing it, man.
real and
Um,
authentic. Yeah.
yep.
Excellent.
So
So this is kind of a fun question. Is there a memorable Christmas jingle that you worked into this one like we have in the first one?
yeah, I mean, I got to so working with Scott and Dennis, who are
Hmm.
producers on the original, they have all the rights to everything. So I think what was really
Oh.
fun was to bring in some of the original soundtrack, both uh, some um, some of the
Mhm.
pieces of score, small pieces of score that Blitz Berlin, our composers, were able to weave
Okay.
in to their own. So it's like we took some of the old score and sort of blended it into the new, which I thought was a lot of fun. So that was exciting. And then
Very cool.
we were able to use some of the actual a couple of the actual soundtrack like songs from the original movie in this. And so they're put in very specific places throughout the movie that I think uh, people will have a lot of fun with.
Yeah, yeah, you're covering all the bases there. You did speak to this a little bit, but what was the vibe like on set? It sounds like it was a blast, but when you said cut, for example, what was it like, especially dealing with some serious subject matter?
Um, I mean, let's just put it this way. I mean, it's not a very high budget film,
Hmm.
and I think we were able to get it done in about 22 days.
Wow,
Um,
that's impressive.
yeah, it was fast. I mean, especially for just like I mean, what we wanted to do with it. Like,
Hmm.
there's choreography. We're doing, these kill sequences. There's lots of kill sequences. There's a high body count. We're using a lot of practical effects, and a lot of that stuff you just have to get it right. And if you don't,
Hmm.
you just have to hope that, we have a couple different angles to really help and sell it.
To choose
Uh,
from. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, that's the movie we were making. And we kind of knew it
Hmm.
going in that we were just like, there's not enough time to, well, there's never enough time to make the movie that you want to make per se, but we just
Right.
knew we had to go in and be very creative on how we did things because of our timeline and our budget,
Mm.
which is fair. Like, it's not
Yeah,
like
sure.
they pulled the rug out from under us. But it was, I mean, there were days that were um, you just feel you're just chipper and giddy, and you're just like, I can't believe we're doing this. And there are some days
Yeah.
where
Like,
we're not shooting any horror related thing at all, and we're
mm,
like, what kind of movie are we making here? Is
what are
this
we
like some kind
doing
of like,
here?
yeah, is this like an after school Christmas special? Like, what is happening? Again,
Cue,
the
cue the
joke is
Hallmark
always,
music.
yeah,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
the joke has always been like, it's the
Mm,
Hallmark movie from hell. I think that was one of the first reviews that came out of
yes.
Fango or whatever. Which, I mean, look, they're not wrong. Like, there's
Yeah,
very
I love
blatant
that.
like nods and winks to that type of movie. that then just get
Oh,
followed up by something extremely gnarly.
mm,
And so yeah, so there was that, and then there was like, there's like we'll call it the part. I'm just gonna say we're gonna call it the party sequence. That
perfect.
was its own giant, ginormous monster of an undertaking that was, very challenging, very hard to do, but also like when you're there for a couple days doing it. You're just kind of like, I can't believe that I mean, we're pulling it off. Like, to a certain
Yeah.
extent, like, you get to a point where you're like, oh, so we don't have enough time to do this, this, and this. I get to pick one of those things.
Mm.
Okay, so I guess we'll go with this. I mean, it's independent filmmaking. That's like it's
Prioritize
like
and yeah,
you have to prioritize. You have to pick your battles and
make it
which things
work.
are. Yeah, so
Hmm.
so there was some of that. When we're in dealing with some of the we'll call it the racier or subject matter that I guess to some people might be offensive or a little bit more like, ooh, like that makes me feel like off or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. It's a horror movie. Like I feel like
Hmm.
any horror movie that really delves into like horrific situations, like is you're
Mm.
gonna deal with that. You're gonna deal with those kinds of moments on set. It's just the reality.
Of course.
Um, so yeah, I think for that it was just always reminding, and everybody reminding each other,
Yeah.
what we're doing and that we're there, we're doing this, and we're ultimately we're making an actually kind of a fun movie, even if there's moments that get kind of dark and messed up.
Oh, for
Um,
sure. Hmm.
and Yeah, so I think it was always making sure and remind ourselves to have fun while making, even though it's hard. And when
Hmm.
things got a little dark and twisted, to remind ourselves it's okay. We're doing this for all the right reasons.
Yes, of course. Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. So, let's see. Silent Night, Deadly Night. Of course, there's the original. But I'd like to ask, what if you could describe your film using other films? What other films come to mind in addition to the original movie?
Um, so I remember that at the time that I was writing it, I was like on a Pixar kick. Like I was watching tons of Pixar movies with
Oh my gosh, I
my
didn't
my
expect
wife.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with my wife and son. Like it's probably
Of
where
course.
some of
Yeah.
the warmer, cozier sort of we'll call them Hallmark vibes in the movie
Yeah.
do come from. Is like I wanted to make something that like that did that. This just it just was it was playful and warm and it had some emotion to it
Yeah.
um and so I was watching a lot of those movies which have just they're just fantastic stories. And so I was pulling a little bit from that and then at the same time, of course you watch like the classics like Tim Allen's Santa Claus and you watch
Of
Elf.
course. Yeah.
But
Mhm.
then in the middle of all those movies I watched Frailty
Oh yeah. Yeah.
and The Guest.
Oh, fantastic film.
Yeah,
Yes.
Adam
So
Wingard's The
it's like
Guest.
Silent
Yeah.
Night, Deadly Night meets Pixar, Frailty, and The Guest.
Uh-huh.
I think you've summed it up
Yeah.
perfectly.
Yeah. So that
Would
was
you?
honestly, yeah, those are the movies that like
Mhm.
um kind of were like, oh my God, yes, yes, there's something here. Like I can feel all these pieces all as different movies as these all are, they strangely the puzzle is fitting together
You know,
when
all
I'm putting the story
it's
together in my mind.
Yeah, but that makes sense. You're pulling elements from all of those films that work together in a cohesive way in a new film,
Yeah.
a new project entirely. So we have the five Silent Night, Deadly Night films. We have Silent Night that Stephen Miller did. Now we have your Silent Night, Deadly Night film. Would you return to it? Would you do sequels? Is this like a start of a trilogy, or is it too soon to say?
If they would want me to continue the story, um,
Mm,
I have my ideas for what I would do for a next one. Let's just put it
I
that
love
way.
that answer. Yes,
Yeah,
I love
I
that
do. I
answer.
do. I do
Um,
have a pretty fun concept. Yes.
Very cool. Very cool. We'll leave it at that. So Silent Night, Deadly Night is playing in theaters now. Make sure to go check it out. I have one more fun question for you, and that is, other than Silent Night, Deadly Night, what is your other favorite Christmas horror movies?
Oh
Putting
God.
you on the spot a little bit.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'd have to say the one on your shirt there.
Oh, of
Um,
course, Gremlins.
yeah,
Yes.
I mean Gremlins is top notch. And
Yeah.
then I mean again, I think the king of all Christmas horror is Black Christmas.
Black
Like, and
Christmas. Yeah.
I know that is the kind of the cop out go-to answer. It's honestly why I bring Gremlins up, because to me Gremlins is it's such a
Yeah.
it's for being a kind of a family Spielberg kind of thing.
Yes.
It
Yes.
gets really dark and twisted, and I love that about it. So
Mhm.
it's a little dangerous, which is nice. But I say Black Christmas because again, like I don't know if I've that movie
It's a
just has
classic.
its it just has a
So good.
weird vibe.
Mhm.
Um,
And it's timeless. It's still just as good
uh-huh,
every year. It's just as good when I watch it, if not better. Um, but
uh-huh.
yeah, I'm right there with you on that. And speaking of the VHS films, A Christmas Horror Story is another great horror anthology. If you haven't
A
seen that one,
Christmas? No, I have not seen that.
it's great. It's got like Krampus and William Shatner is in it.
Oh
Uh,
my God, no, I have
He's
not seen
he's
it.
like the host. Oh, it's so good. You'll have to watch it and let
Okay,
me know.
yes.
Let me know what you think. So I don't want to take up too much more of your time, and I do want to do this or that, but I've got to ask about Sweet Revenge just quickly. What was it like bringing Jason back after 16 years? And did you ever imagine in your life that you would be involved with Jason Voorhees and Friday the 13th?
No.
I
Never thought in a
expected
million
that. Yes.
years. But it was one of the interesting things is,
Mhm.
I grew up making a lot of like Jason ripoff movies, like, slashers with
Oh
friends in the
yeah,
woods up at my
of
cabin.
course.
And so, and of course, he was always sort of like the thing that you would
Mhm.
he set the tone, you know what I mean? So it's like you went in, you made these movies, and it was all based on sort of Friday the 13th movies. There's a killer with a helmet or a mask or whatever, taking out a bunch of kids at a cabin, like, and we did several of those kinds of movies. So I
As you should.
yeah, and so like there was that, and then I remember, it's weird because I have like this crystal like pennant that I have in the house here, and then I have a Jason mask in the house here, and I have so I
Mm.
had all this stuff, and I would always it was weird. It almost kind of like I never fully went out and said like I am going to be the guy who makes a Jason Voorhees or a Friday the 13th movie.
Right,
But it
right.
was always sort of like there, always in
How cool would that
in the
be, right?
periphery. You
Though,
know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
so when Jason Universe and Horror Inc. when they reached out to me and asked if I was interested in like doing a short, I was like, well, yeah. Again, like Silent Night.
Mm.
I'm not gonna say what am I? I'm gonna say no. Like,
Well, let me check my schedule.
yeah, of course.
Yeah, of
I said,
course.
yeah, let me.
Yeah,
And it was
right.
funny because I was honestly I was on a film. I was shooting a film down in Colombia at the time.
Mhm.
And this Amazonian horror thriller that hopefully y'all get to see next year.
Oh, hell
And
yeah. Oh my God, keep me
and
updated.
yes, and I was making that, and we were on overnights, and they called me and like, hey, can we do a meeting at like 11 o'clock? Or it was, yeah, it would have been 11 a.m. So I was
Yeah.
literally, I had just gone to bed, and then I got up and took this call, and then spent a week while I was still shooting thinking about my idea, and then
Yeah.
pitched the idea to them, and they said they'd get back to me, and they got
Mm.
back and they said
And
yes.
it
And that I
happened.
was not
Oh my
expecting.
gosh. Yeah.
So
Oh wow, you
that was
must
a
have been
moment.
floored. And you handled it so well. I love the twist. I love the reimagining of Jason. Like I said, an homage to the original, but also something new. And
Mhm.
I also liked the cliffhanger. So I hope you don't have to answer this, but I hope we
Yeah.
get to see more of what's to come with Sweet Revenge,
You know
unless you
what? So
want
do
to
I.
answer. So do you. Okay,
So
well,
do
let's
I. So do I.
fingers crossed, fingers crossed. I hope it happens. Well, gosh, and also Wrong Turn. I loved your reimagining of this. I think the tone is
Oh, thanks,
new.
man.
The Oh my God, it's so good. And it came out during COVID. And I remember
Yes.
at the time we weren't getting a lot of new horror movies, and I was so excited about it. And I was
Yep.
blown away by the story. The like I said, the reimagining of it. I'm a fan of this one as well. I could talk with you for another half an hour about that. Maybe we can schedule a follow up. And VHS 85, your two segments in this are just fantastic. What is it? No Wake in Ambrosia, about
Yes.
a lake that has some, let's say, resurrection properties. Um, it's just so good. So congratulations on being a part of that too. It's
Yeah.
just so impressive everything you're working on. And now with Silent Night, Deadly Night, I can't wait to see what you do next. And that Amazonian film that you mentioned, hopefully there's some cannibals in there, but you don't have to say anything. Let's keep me updated on that. Let's see. So congratulations on 10 years of filmmaking. Kind of a fun question here. Is there a horror subgenre that you would like to try next if you were given the opportunity?
Um,
Like found footage, or I mean, you've kind of done found footage with
Gosh,
VHS 85, zombies.
it's yeah, it's so interesting because so many of these opportunities that have come to me
Mhm.
have been less about this is gonna sound I don't know if this is a bad thing or not, but like some of these opportunities that have come to me, they come out of the clear blue, like they just come out of the blue, and they kind of sideswipe me. It's like
Mhm.
I've never expected to do. I'm like, okay, so I have wanted to do a Christmas horror movie. And I did actually I
Yeah.
did write an original one that I have a script for and everything, and had been working with a production company on something else
Mhm.
when this one came along.
Oh,
But
cool.
like a Christmas movie was one a Christmas horror was always something that I wanted to do. So that it was kind of a bucket list thing. I don't I
Yeah.
think but like even like Wrong Turn, I never thought I would do a Wrong Turn movie. Like a
Yeah, my
backwoods
God, right?
survivalist but like a backwoods survivalist movie, sure. Like that's like kind of my language. I love doing those kinds of movies.
Mm,
So,
mm.
but I never thought I would do a Wrong Turn. I never thought I would do an Amazonian like creature feature, like and
Oh,
that's
okay. I
you
was
know what I
hoping
mean? And
you'd
so I
say a little bit creature feature. Nice.
so that in itself was kind of like out of the blue and didn't think I'd be doing that. I always wanted to do
Mm,
be a part of the VHS family. That was like always kind of like a bucket list thing. So that was cool. I don't honestly like I feel like I would love to do I think it'd still be fun to play around with a couple like lesser known IPs down the road. I think that'd be fun to kind of like give my new original take on some stuff, but I'd
mhm,
love to do
mhm.
something with UFOs. Um
Oh, yes.
I think
Hell
that'd be a
yeah.
lot of I think that'd be a lot of fun. And I think there's been some untapped um uh ways to mess within that genre that I haven't seen, or at least
Mhm.
I don't
I
think I
love
have.
that.
But yeah, I don't know. It could be a lot of fun to
That would
mess
be
around with
cool.
that.
Well, speaking of Untapped, and you mentioned Cabin in the Woods and slashers in the woods, um, The Burning would be a great one to tackle. Just throwing that out there. Not that
Ooh,
I have any say,
oh,
but Cropsy we never got a sequel for that, and I
that's
think we
true.
should
Oh my
have.
God.
We should have. Yes, there you go. Okay, so let's go right into the this or that segment. Before we started recording, I mentioned this. I basically ask you two things. You just pick one or the other, go with your gut. In most cases, there's no right or wrong answer, and it's usually kind of fun. So let's see. The first one I have is Jack Frost from 1997 or Jack Frost 2, Revenge of the Mutant Killer Snowman from 2000.
We have to go the original, Jack
Yeah,
Frost.
yeah, me
Yep.
too. But
Yep.
it was so much fun just saying out the whole title of Jack Frost 2.
The fact that it even exists is
Oh my
fantastic.
God. And isn't it on the beach? I think,
Yeah,
which
it's yeah,
doesn't
yes.
make any
Oh, I
sense.
remember the
He
case.
goes,
Doesn't the case have palm trees on it or something?
yeah, he goes to the Caribbean. He's on a surfboard. Oh my gosh. Okay. Would you prefer a kind of tie it into that, a killer snowman or killer gingerbread man like in Krampus?
Oof. Um, I think I'm still gonna go with Killer Snowman. I think there's still some fun
There's some more
there's
you
still
could
some
do.
there's still some fun to be had there, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
agreed. Agreed.
Yep.
Okay. Well, speaking of Krampus from 2015 or Christmas, Bloody Christmas from 2022. the Terminator of all Christmas
Oh,
movies.
gonna have to go Krampus. Gonna
Yeah,
have to go
a
Krampus.
classic there. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, it's so good. Let's see. Do you prefer eggnog latte or peppermint mocha? I should have told
Eggnog
you this is
latte.
all Christmas themed.
Eggnog
Eggnog.
latte. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
No,
no,
peppermint and chocolate. Yeah, yeah.
no,
Okay, okay.
eggnog, 100%. I'm a huge
Yeah,
eggnog fan.
I'm with you on that one. Okay, Gremlins 1 or Gremlins 2?
Oh, I'm gonna have to go with one, although I do love two. I love
Yeah,
two, but like when I'm
it's so good.
thinking of the one that whenever I want to watch one, I usually always put in the first one.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I'm
yeah,
gonna have
me
to go with
too.
one.
That one scene with Phoebe Cates and she's telling the story about
It's
her dad and the
fantastic.
chimney and she should get what is it like bartender of the year because she stayed on when her shift should have ended. Um,
Correct.
let's see. I've got some
Correct.
cookies here. Peanut butter blossoms or peppermint bark.
Ooh, I'm gonna go with peanut butter blossoms.
Yeah, like the Hershey Kisses and
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Yep,
Good,
yep.
good. Yeah, I think I'd pick that too. Okay, so some lesser known Christmas themed modern horror movies. I've got P2, where the girl is trapped in the parking
Yeah.
deck, or
Hmm.
ATM 2012, where the folks are
Ooh.
trapped in an ATM on
I'm
Christmas
gonna
Eve.
I'm gonna go P2.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
they're both good, but P2, man,
Yep.
that's shocking. The tables turn there.
Yeah,
Um,
better than I thought. Like that one was better than I expected it to be.
mhm,
And then
mhm.
that guy went on to do
It's good.
Maniac, right? That director.
Oh, yes, he did the Maniac remake with Elijah
Yeah.
Wood, which is
Yeah.
also fantastic.
Yeah, holy crap, that's a doozy.
So good. My God. Yes. Um, okay, I think I know what you'll say here. Black Christmas 74 or Black Christmas from 2006.
Yeah, I mean it's
You
74.
gotta
And
go with
again,
the
it's a
original. Yeah.
movie that it
Mhm,
if anything, it's a vibe. Like it's just
mhm.
like it's the sounds, it's the way he
So good.
progress in the movie, it's
Yeah.
the lighting in the movie, it's the
Mhm.
eyeball in the doorway, it's it's just nothing about it is nothing. It's so weird. It's a Christmas movie. It's a Christmas horror movie, but
Right.
strangely, it's not like super on the nose. It's like at a sorority, and it's all just kind of so happens that it is during Christmas.
That
It's
it's on
not like
Christmas. Right.
it's not dependent on Christmas, which I actually really like.
Yes.
Because it just so happens that some random weirdo we don't know anything about, which is also why the movie is way
So good.
scarier than
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
than anything else where it's sort of like we're set up and there's this villain or like there's
Yeah.
lore behind blah blah, blah. It's just like nope, it's just this weird strange messed up
Mhm.
dude who climbs into a window and kills a sorority girl by suffocating her, and he just hangs out and he makes
Making
obscene phone
phone
calls.
calls.
Like it is
Yes.
so weird, and it's just again it just so happens to be at Christmas time. That to me is just
Exactly.
mm,
And one scene, I think in the final act, when the carolers come and she just stands there listening to the carolers, and like all the horror that's taken place inside
the
that she
freaking
doesn't know
unicorn,
yet.
dude.
The
Dude,
unicorn.
crystal
Oh my
unicorn,
God.
man.
Yes, yes. And there's
Oh,
some
by
really
the way,
funny
I
moments in that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, there is, and I mean, some of the dialogue, you're just kind of like, what,
yeah,
what
yeah,
are we
yeah.
watching here? Like,
Exactly. Yes.
I actually
Okay,
just got
okay. I'm
I just got from Beyond Killer Games or whatever, or, Stop a Killer,
oh, okay.
the game company, Anthony Massey, um,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
yeah, I just got the Black Christmas board game. So anyway,
Oh,
super
cool. I
super
didn't even know there was a Black Christmas
yeah,
one.
you
They
check
did
it out.
the
It's
Halloween
beautiful.
one, right? Is
They
it the
did Halloween.
same
They did Halloween
Texas
2.
Chainsaw Massacre?
Yeah,
The
they're coming
same.
out with oh God, yeah, let's see what else
Yes.
did they did a Silent Night one. Anyway, yeah, those guys hooked me up with a pretty cool collection of board
I have
games. They
Texas
came out with
Chainsaw Massacre
Thanksgiving.
right over
Yes.
there. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah,
artwork on the covers is
very well done.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yes, agreed.
They're very well
Okay,
done.
only a few more here.
Okay.
Let's see, real or fake Christmas tree?
Real.
Of course.
Every
It's
every year
more
we have a
work,
real
but
one right next to me. Oh, dude, it's
yes.
always more work, but
Yeah,
like you
same
can't
here.
beat, especially that first week. Like your house just smells
Mhm.
like It smells
like
like
the
Christmas to me.
pine smell. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, it's
And
so
then
good.
you're still finding needles throughout the house into like April.
Oh, dude. Yeah, no,
But it's
no.
all worth
I,
it. I
I
think I just
like I
found
put up
one
the old.
today. Yeah, from last
That's what I
year.
was gonna. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like when we usually put up the tree because it's always in the same spot, I
Yeah,
still find needles like wedged in like the floor from the
like in
one
the
we.
cracks, or yes,
Yeah.
yes, they're
Yeah.
like brown, but you can tell
Yep.
they're from the year before. Oh man,
Hmm.
the price to pay, but it's so worth it. Um,
Yeah.
okay, I think I know what you'll say here, but Silent Night, Deadly Night from 1984 or Silent Night from 2012?
Gonna have to go with the 84 one, and I will say, um, solely based, and not just because it's the original.
Yeah.
I will say that, and I've said this to in some other panels and stuff like that. There is something so strange and I'll say off-putting, but in like a good way, like about its
Mm,
tone. Like
mhm.
the tone of that movie is all over the place, but it's why it sort of works. Because it's
Yeah.
like it deals with some stuff that's like really icky, like abuse and all this stuff, but then it gets like really
Mhm.
campy and there's almost comedy at times. And then the
Yes.
kills are like sometimes really brutal and sometimes they're kind of silly. And it's you're just kind of like,
What's
what am I,
happening
yeah, what am
here?
I watching right now? Like I feel like
Mhm.
there's way too serious of subject matter going on for in a movie like this to like be kind of silly.
Yes. But it
And
works. Yeah.
yeah, and again,
Yeah.
it's why like with ours, like it was important to me when I was writing ours. I was like, I'm not gonna do what they did because I just don't want to rehash it, but there needs to
Mhm.
be a weird like
Yeah.
a clashing of tones in the movie, which is why you get kind of like, oh, it's like a sweet love story, and you get like characters that are going through
Mhm.
something, like you get these things, and then so you just get like,
And then the axe comes out. Yes.
yeah, yeah,
Oh
and you
man,
just get messed up stuff.
that's
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Last one here. Michael Myers or Art the Clown?
Oh man, I am going to have to go with Michael Myers.
Mm,
I
yes,
don't know if
I
there's
support
ever
that.
been, yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's ever been, um, from that again. I hate being the cliche and always going back to like the OG movies, but I just still one of the more terrifying images, and it's such a simple, straightforward image, and it's why I think it still stands the test of time.
Mhm.
And God, it's in the fucking trailer for the original movie, for God's sake.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just him at the top of that staircase coming down after her,
Yeah.
and she runs across the street to the other house,
Hmm.
and you're in
Can't
a
get
wide
in.
shot and you just see
You can
him
see him
small. It's small.
coming.
He's not ginormous. He's not this barreling Jason that's walking towards.
Yeah.
He looks like a man, but he's in shadow and it's that piano dun dun
Mhm.
dun and he's just not stopping. He's a
Terrifying.
machine. He's walking right towards you
Yep.
and I just to me
And the keys, you can't find her keys. Go
I
ahead. Go
just
ahead.
yeah, for
Yeah.
some reason I just that is an image I still like if yeah,
Mhm.
goosebumps throughout my body. It's always effective. It doesn't ever stop being effective and there's
Yeah.
nothing it's such a raw human scary
Hmm.
visual. You know what I mean? That
Hmm.
literally doesn't have any blood in it. And to me, I
Yeah.
feel like if you can do that, holy shit, dude, like that is kind of the creme de la
Absolutely.
creme to create that because that is something that sticks with you, dude. Like because
And
that
it's
is
what you
like
don't see, right? What you don't see
God,
is
tell me
most
about it.
terrifying.
Oh, so Art the Clown,
Oh
God
my
bless him,
gosh.
but I'm sorry, like John
Mm,
Carpenter did something in that moment.
yeah.
It's what the rest of the movie is great. I love Halloween, but that moment is one of the most perfect
Everything
moments
works. Yeah.
in movie
Yeah.
history and in horror history, whatever.
Another timeless film like Black Christmas. No matter when you watch it, it's still just as good as the
So
first
good.
time. It's fantastic. Well, Mike, congratulations on Silent Night, Deadly Night. One more time, thank you so much
Mhm.
for chatting with me. My very last question for you is how can folks find you on social media if you want to be found?
Yeah, not a huge social media guy, but I do have an Instagram account. And
Yes.
it's Rockford Road.
Excellent. I will flash that on the
Yep.
screen.
Yep.
Let's see. If you're watching, like and subscribe because it helps my channel. And Mike, one last time, thank you so much for chatting with me today. This has been amazing.
Dude, Aaron, it's a pleasure. Thanks for inviting me on, and yeah, we'll
Of
do it again.
course. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Awesome. Bye, everyone.
All right.